Hi, I'm Shana Meyerson with the Yoga of War podcast, here today with Kibbutz Be'eri massacre survivor, Miri Gad Messika. If you appreciate and find value in these important discussions, please consider supporting the show so I can continue to bring you such amazing and esteemed guests. Details are pinned in the comments below. Miri Gad Messika is a third-generation member of Kibbutz Be'eri and a graduate of the communal child-rearing system. Brought up in the idyllic southern Israel community, directly on the border with Gaza, no one in her community could ever have imagined the horrors that unfolded on October 7th, 2023. On that horrifying and fateful day, like all 1,200 members of Be'eri, Miri, her husband, and her 3 children hid in her home's secure room as terrorists rampaged through their community and through their house. Terrorists broke into their house and attempted to breach the door of the secure room. When they failed, they set the house on fire with the whole family inside. Miri and her family had no choice but to jump from the second floor window to survive. Neighbors who saw the family jumping ran to their aid and helped them escape to safety. During their evacuation, the bus carrying the family was shot at by terrorists, but miraculously, no one was injured. Miri's extended family also narrowly escaped the horrors of that day. Miri Gad Messika is an Israeli business consultant with BA and MA degrees in marketing communications, psychology, and business administration. She's also an NLP master, a mental coach, a group facilitator, and a mindfulness instructor. Since the October 7th attack, Miri has taken charge of managing Kibbutz Be'eri's communications and public image with the goal of rebuilding the kibbutz, which suffered tremendous devastation. She strives to restore its values of success, resilience, growth, and prosperity. Additionally, she is committed to efforts aimed at the return of the hostages, commemorating the victims of the massacre, and restoring security to the kibbutz and the northwestern Negev. Miri, thank you so much for honoring us with your presence and sharing your story with us today. Before we begin, where are you talking to us from today?
Where I live at the moment, Kibbutz Be'eri built a neighborhood. I mean, the government built a neighborhood for Kibbutz Be'eri near Kibbutz Hatzerim in the south. It's very close to the town of Be'er Sheva.
Okay. How have the two kibbutzes integrated since 10/7?
The two kibbutzes you are speaking about, Hatzerim and Be'eri?
Yeah, do you feel like, so from what from my understanding of kibbutzim, they're like a big family. Are you now double that family, or is it sort of two different kibbutzes that are sharing a space?
Um, it was built to be two different. I mean, it's like neighbors, you know. Um, we use some of their facilities, like the gym. Every day I go to the gym in Kibbutz Hatzerim, so I meet there new friends. And we go to the supermarket of Kibbutz Hatzerim. At the beginning, we ate there in their dining room until our dining room was ready. But most of the things we planned in advance that it will be built here in our neighborhood, so we won't change our lifestyle that much, and that we can keep our community united.
And how long have you been there? Did you spend time at the Dead Sea? Where did you go immediately after 10/7? And when did you transition to the current location near Beersheba?
Me and my family at the beginning were evacuated to Tel Aviv.
Oh, okay.
Most of the kibbutz members and families evacuated to the Dead Sea, you're right, to David Hotel Resort and Spa, and the families that was evacuated at the beginning, we were evacuated at about 7 p.m. So it was like the beginning of the evacuation. So we was taken to Tel Aviv, but the others after us was taken to the Dead Sea. So we spent about a week in Tel Aviv, because maybe I will tell later the story, but my son was injured on October 7th, so I had to take him to the hospital, and we hospitalized him, and we stayed there, we went for surgery and so on. So we stayed for a little while in Tel Aviv, and after that we went to reunite with our community in the Dead Sea. And my family stayed there for 4 months. And for us, it was very long, because you couldn't like live a normal family life. Not that anything was normal after October 7th, but we understand that if we are not going to go out of the hotel, that our family is in a big problem. I don't know how to say that. We didn't feel well as a family. We couldn't live a family life, so we decided to move. Since October 7th until now, until the first year, we moved 8 places.
Wow.
8 places of living, yeah. We started in Be'eri, then Tel Aviv, then the Dead Sea, then we rented a house in Karmit, near between the Dead Sea to Kibbutz Be'eri. Then we moved to Be'eri for a little while, because we didn't know where else to go, when you don't have anywhere to go, so you go back home. Even though we didn't have our home to go to, we got an apartment there, and we stayed there for a little while. Then we moved 3 houses in Chatzerim, so until now, 8 houses.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Now, I definitely want to delve into what happened on 10/7. That's the real reason we're here. But before we do that, let's set the stage, because I don't think everybody fully understands not only what a kibbutz is, but there were things that made Kibbutz Be'eri special, particularly the fact that I was there last year and can see like the border right there at the edge of the kibbutz. I mean, you're as close to Gaza as is humanly possible. So
No, it's close, but it's not
yeah,
that close. I mean, if you stand on a roof, so you can see Gaza,
yeah.
but it's I don't know. You usually talk in miles, but if you know how to translate kilometers, so it's 4.2 kilometers
Okay.
from Gaza. It's one of the closest kibbutzim. Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
about 2 miles.
something like.
So you're a third generation member of Kibbutz Be'eri. Can you tell me about your family's history on the kibbutz and how relations with Gaza, to the extent that you know, have evolved over those 3 generations, starting with your grandparents?
I can tell only the things I know. So first of all, to say a few words about Kibbutz Be'eri and kibbutzim in general, and specific Kibbutz Be'eri. Kibbutz Be'eri is a shared community. What's a shared community? Shared community means that everybody earns money from their job, and they put all the money in the same bank account and divide it equally between all the members and the families of the kibbutz. We are like everybody is for everybody. We have like until 3 years ago, we had dining room that we ate without paying for the meal. Of course, that we put the money for the food, but we didn't pay for the meal. Now we have like a share car pool, and we have pool, and we have like a place for the like a zoo, and we have many things that for the kibbutz members and family we are doing together. We actually like we can stay like many weeks in the kibbutz without going outside because we have everything we need inside of the kibbutz. And Kibbutz Be'eri was very special kibbutz because, first of all, it's the biggest kibbutz in the all around, all the like how do you say that, the Gaza Strip? There is a word, there is a phrase for it. It's the Gaza Strip. It's around Gaza. It's the biggest
Oh,
kibbutz.
the envelope.
The envelope. Okay.
The Gaza envelope. Yeah.
The Gaza envelope. Okay. So so it's the biggest kibbutz, and it's not only the biggest, it's more than 2 times bigger than the next big one. It's actually until October 7 in Kibbutz Be'eri lived 1,200 people, about 650 members. So it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's notable for people to understand that the kibbutz system in Israel is literally the only socialist experiment on earth that has been successful without any sort of dictatorship. And this is the ideal version of socialism that she's explaining. A lot of the kibbutzes in Israel have switched back to a capitalist economy where it's more like you would consider in America, like a neighborhood. But Kibbutz Be'eri is still maintaining this very traditional form of a kibbutz.
Yeah, it's changing slowly, but eventually it's inevitable. How do you say?
Inevitable.
Inevitable. Yeah. And I guess in a few years it will be like any other community that like regular. But until now, it's like exactly like you said. So Kibbutz Be'eri is very special because the glue between the people was very hard. I mean, all the activities of the communities are is what makes us what we are. Okay, there is something like a glue, like I said. And of course that we can do all this because we have like a very strong factory, a printing house that helps us maintain this kind of life. I mean, without a very big and strong factory like Be'eri printers, we might not be able to live that kind of life.
Would you say that all or most of the kibbutz members know each other? At least if you walk down the street, you would know everybody's name. Yes. Okay. So very much more like a family than a community. What was it like for you growing up on Kibbutz Be'eri? Especially again, so let me step back a little bit. Based on what I'm finding online, you were about 7, 8 years old in 1987. Correct me if I'm wrong, when the first Intifada began. Do you remember that time, and what was it like? You don't remember that? Okay. So what was it
not like this? What I remember when I was a kid, and I remember that mostly from my parents' like stories. I've never been to Gaza, but my father, he used to say that they went to buy falafel in the Gaza's market. I mean, there was no border that time. No border.
What time are we talking about? Are we talking about?
I think until the 1970 something, maybe 1980.
Okay.
At the beginning, maybe, but don't catch me because I was very small then, so I don't remember. But But I remember that my father said that he used to go there to buy falafel. It was the best falafel there.
Well, let's not argue about the best falafel and the best hummus. This is a big hot topic. Um, okay, so I guess more specifically, so you're, as you mentioned in your bio, you were a graduate of the communal Be'eri education system. You could explain that as well, but I'm curious. I'm sure you're aware of what's going on in the Gaza education system vis-a-vis Israel. I'm wondering what did you grow up learning about your neighbors in Gaza as a child from preschool all the way through high school service, whatever you want to call it?
I mean, you think that we study about it. We didn't. I mean, we knew that there are like people who lives there. We didn't. I mean, like I always see people, no matter where they live, the same. I never saw, I mean, I just read Eli Sharabi's book, I mean, the middle now, his book Hostage that just was published 2 weeks ago.
And for anybody who doesn't know, Eli Sharabi did come from Be'eri and his family, which is one of the most tragic stories of this whole event. I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, he's translating his book, so it will be available in English as well. So now I cut my my understand like okay. So he said in the book that the his captures you say the people who
Captors. Uh-huh.
captures, okay. They said you're so nice. We wish that all the Israelis will be would have been like you. So he said, all the Israelis are like me. I mean, they learn to understand that all the Israelis want them dead. And it's not true. We like them a lot. We even help many of them because we thought that they need our help. I mean, I'm not sure what's happening now with the Gazan people that was working like back at the days. I'm not talking about like in the last 2 years because we had like 1 or 2 workers that had the permission to work and so on. But I'm talking about back at the days. Back at the days, many of them was working in Kibbutz Be'eri. It is what it is. And one of them, even Eli said it in his book, that one of them was working, one of his captures was working in Tel Aviv. I mean, not only in kibbutzim, all over Israel. I mean, it wasn't special thing to in a kibbutzim. So we like people as they are because they are people. We don't care what kind of religious they are. It doesn't matter to us. I mean, like Ellie, my husband said, how come that most of your friends are religious and you are non-religious? So how come? Because I see people as a people. I
Yeah.
don't see them otherwise. So the same for the Gazans. We understand at the like late years, like a few only from what's happening with the Hamas and so on, and the past maybe 10 or maybe more than 10 years ago, that what they do, that they learn hateness. And it's very hard because we don't learn it about them. We learn to see every person as a person, as a people. And
And a large number of the people at Be'eri were not just peace activists in theory, but peace activists in action, taking patients from Gaza across the border, obviously giving them giving them jobs. I could tell you though, obviously I'm far in the diaspora as far as you could get. I'm in Los Angeles, but growing up in also the Jewish day school system here, believe it or not, I never knew there was a war at all. I didn't know there was a conflict. And all we heard about was our Muslim brothers and sisters and Am Yisrael Chai, and we love Israel, but we were never taught to hate. Just on the opposite, we were taught that as Jews, particularly in the shadow of World War II, that we couldn't afford to hate. And that was how I was educated. It sounds like even across the world in Israel, facing this imminent threat, that's how you were educated as well.
Right. I was not listen because the Judaism, it doesn't matter if you are religious or not or non-religious, but the Judaism is like one of the strongest message of the Judaism is love. We grow we are getting broken when we grow. When we born, they teach us to love everybody, to be who we are in our good things. But when we grow up, so something makes us broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm about to get into the October 7th stuff, but I do have a few more questions leading up. Um, I'm curious as a third generation member in the fact that things are evolving in capitalism and all the opportunities in Tel Aviv and in the tech sector and how fast things are moving. Did you ever consider leaving the community once you grew up, maybe like after your IDF service, for example, or
Yeah.
did you know? Okay, what made you stay?
Yeah, choose to live in that kind of community, you pay price. You pay a very big price. I mean, you have a lot of advantage. That's the reason why eventually I chose to live here. But there are prices. I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you don't want to work, it's not my situation. But if you want to be like a you can't be stay-at-home mom.
Hmm.
It's not an opportunity. Yeah, one of the main thing is that you have to work, you have to
Right.
provide, and this is one thing. It's not a problem for me because I'm very strict at that thing, but if you want to learn and if you want to study something and if you want to take a long vacation and if you want to change house and everything have to go through the kibbutz the routine. There is a
Yeah.
routine, and you don't always get a yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
sometimes, and maybe more than sometimes, you get a no, and you have to live with it. When you are a free person outside, you can do whatever you want. But
Right.
here, you have a lot of advantage, but near disadvantage, you have to pay prices. So it's not everything like so
Right.
pink as it sounds. It has these prices.
Yeah. So from the statistics I found in September 2023, right before the attacks,
Yeah.
there were basically 18,000 Gazans who held work permits and were this was bringing around $2 million a day into the Gaza economy. This is very important to understand the efforts that Israel was making to create a flourishing economy in Gaza so that they could look towards prosperity instead of war. Now, you already alluded to this, but can you expound on the role that Gazans played, not only on the kibbutz, but specifically, did you and your family have relations with particular? No.
No, never.
Did you see them on the kibbutz? Right? Because.
I did. I don't. you know, there are many workers in the kibbutz. We
Mhm.
now the people who works in the dining room, who maintains the dining room, are a big family from Rahat. You know, Rahat. It's a Bedouin city between Be'er Sheva to Be'eri. So many people from there are Arabs. and other Arabs people work in the in other in Israel in kibbutz it's called branches. It's like a little it's places of work. It called branches in because it's not business. It's like place of work. Okay, so I didn't know that the person I see is from Gaza or from Rahat or from, I didn't know. And I didn't care.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, for me, I see people as people. I never ask them where you live, where you from, why are you here? You know, I accept them.
Yeah. It sounds like October 7th wasn't anything that you ever even imagined, much less anticipated. Is that accurate? It just like was a complete surprise. Not a complete surprise in that moment, but a complete surprise that it could have happened at all.
Like this, yeah. We never thought a thing like this can happen. We knew about the tunnels when I was in my maternity leave 10 years ago. I remember that every few days in 4 o'clock in the morning, AM, yeah, AM, I just felt my bed shaking like this. Like I understand that they are digging a tunnel. Okay,
Wow.
it was more than 10 years ago. And then we said about it to the army, and as we know, they took care of it eventually, because now we know that most or all of the tunnels are in the territory of Gaza, not in. So at the beginning, yeah, I had like thoughts that if they will do nothing with the tunnel, so they can open a tunnel in the middle of the dining room of Be'eri. And yeah, I had like dreams about things like this. But after that, we understand that there are no, and saying it was more than 10 years ago. So until then, after that, I mean, I didn't think to these directions. I understood about the tunnels. I always thought that if they will come from tunnels,
Yeah, but
not breaking the fence.
right.
We never thought, I mean, it will be in a, like they are hiding and then show up.
Yes.
But not like this. We never thought that if they will go to the fence, nobody will see them in the fence. We knew my sister, she was a, I don't know how to say it in English, but she was tetspitanit. You know tetspitanit? You heard about this phrase? It's
Um,
the soldiers woman, the soldier girls that was like watching the fence.
got it.
He
Yes.
was the one who was watching the fence like a few years ago. And we knew that there are always eyes on the fence, always
Mhm.
eyes on the fence. So we never thought that they can break the fence and come like thousands of them. We
Yeah.
never thought such a thing. And we never thought that if something will happen, the army won't come.
The whole thing was so unimaginable. Um, October 7th, 6:29 a.m. How
I don't know this 629. Nobody from Be'eri heard about this 29.
how did
I
your
don't know
days?
who invented that for us it was on 6:30 there was an alert, and on 7:00 we got the notification that there is might be a penetration of terrorists. Might.
What form did
So
that
for us, it's
notification?
not the same exact time that everybody like talks about it.
When you say a notification, are you talking about the community WhatsApp? Or are you talking about
Yeah,
official
it wasn't a WhatsApp. It was on the local app and in SMS, on SMS.
nothing from the IDF or Home Command or
They
the
didn't
government?
even know at the moment. I
And
mean, they knew, but they didn't function. So
right.
it's
So
from what our members saw on the fence.
Okay,
Friends
so
of mine, they saw the Hamas terrorists. They even took videos of them like driving on the fence. So we got the notification until um, when like they made sure that it's terrorist.
right.
But at the beginning, nobody wants to believe it. So they said they might be.
So
But we already knew that when we got this notification that the Arik, Rav Shatz, the commander of the Be'eri squad, he was already killed at that time.
at what time? I'm just trying to put together a timeline here.
Seven, seven,
At
seven in the morning.
7.
Yeah.
So you got an initial notification at 6:30. Was it?
No, at 7.
Oh, they said you got one at 6:30 saying something might be wrong, and then at 7 that there
No,
something
at
was wrong.
6:30, we had the alert, the Tseva Adom
Yeah,
alert, the color
right.
red alert
Yeah.
of missiles, of
Oh, of the
missiles.
missiles. Okay.
Yeah, because the missiles was like a distraction. They made us think that what are they doing is throwing missiles while they were penetrating the border. That's what they did. So everybody was focused in the missiles while they were breaking the fence and entering Israel.
So what was the community response at 7 a.m.? What did you and fellow community members do? Did you already know something was very, very wrong, or was it
No,
confusion? Was it chaos? Like
it
what was the?
wasn't a chaos and it wasn't confusion. We got a clear message. There might be a penetration of terrorists. Please enter the safe room and stay until. So we thought until the army come, something, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. I mean, we went inside with our jammies, barefoot. We didn't take no food, no water, nothing. We just, as we are, we just came inside as we are. And we never thought that we're gonna stay there for a long time. We never thought that they're gonna we will deal with the door. When we started to understand that they are like trying to open doors and burning houses, so we try to make solution, to find solution, how to secure the handle, what to do in case of. I mean, we heard about all these things we heard from the WhatsApp group. What I paid attention on myself, that we got the notification that it might be a penetration on 7. And in 7 and 10 minutes, I don't know how it was, like October 7, in 7 and 10 minutes, I understand that it's a real thing because of 2 things. One, I heard the shooting outside my window and the shouting in Arabic. And the second thing, that nothing like this never happened. Never. It was the first thing that such a thing happened. Once back at the days in 1950 something, when Kibbutz Be'eri was built and there was no border. There was people, they didn't call them terrorists back then. They called them in Hebrew mistanenim, like invaders. And they did something in Kibbutz Be'eri, which killed a woman that called Shula, that was pregnant with her baby in her belly. But nothing like this happened after the border, and of course, I mean, never. So I understood that it was like an historic event, not because I'm a genius, not because that I understand history, just because nothing like this ever happened, ever.
Understood. So I'd like you to tell your family's story. So you went into the room, you got WhatsApp messages knowing something needs to be done. You need to secure the door. You need a plan. From the moment you went into the safe room to your escape, can you tell that story?
Yeah, so we got in, like I said, we got in 7 to the safe room. We didn't take anything with us because we thought that's going to be over real soon. And when we understand from the WhatsApp group what's actually happened, although we didn't even understand like 10% from what happened, just from people who write on the mom's Facebook group, because in Be'eri back then there was no like one big social group. There was only like the moms group. It was the biggest group because we didn't need, and we had like we had notifications and we had that kind of app before that we got message. We didn't need, nobody wants the WhatsApp group. They make a lot of mess and, no, I mean, you go inside and then you want to go out. But the mom group was a very strong group. We always help each other if we forgot something, if we need something, if we want to ask for advice. And so on this group, like at the beginning, the moms, and after the moms, like their husbands and their children went inside that group that day, so we can all like be in the same place. And we understand. My best friend, she got shot in her hip in 2 bullets about 8:30, 9 in the morning through the handle of the safe room door. It's what rescued her as well, because they couldn't open the door after the shot through the door. The handle was stuck. So we understand that they are trying to open the doors, and we try to do things to secure. Ellie did many things. When we need to go to the toilet, we didn't go through the door because our house door was made from glass. If you move, you can see it wasn't our house. It was a temporary house that we lived in. So if we walk through there, they can see us immediately. So we did, like if we need to pee, we did it in the safe room. We didn't have anything else to do. So we always change places inside the safe room because we heard that they are shooting, and the door and the window are not at the same place. So if you sit here, you're near the window. If you sit here, you're near the door. So you are not safe any place in the safe room because it was planned for bomb attack. It wasn't bad.
Just a quick question. A glass door seems very easy for them to break in. No?
Yes, that's why we didn't go outside the safe room. The glass door was the glass of the door of the house.
Oh, I thought you meant of the safe room. That doesn't sound very safe.
The
Okay,
safe
got
room is made from steel, I think. It's made from steel.
Yes. Okay, go on.
So we couldn't go outside because we didn't want to be seen when we are walking in our apartment, in our house. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we stayed there. We wasn't talking as much. Ellie was at the door, tried to secure the door. I was in the WhatsApp to see what's happening. And the kids, everybody like finds his spot. Yahel was very stressed. Eitan was like, that model that if you, like the fight flight model. So everybody like Eitan was in a freezing. My son, he was back then 16 years old. My daughter, she was 15 years old, and the small one was 9 years old. So everybody acts different. Yahel, the 15 years old, she was like stressed from time to time. She cried. And Ori just wanted to go out because she's very like a movie, and she always need to be in movement. She can't stay in one place. And Eitan was, he froze in his place. I mean, they did what they do normally, but in more like extreme. Okay?
Miri, I'm curious, Miri, were your children communicating with their friends
Yes,
simultaneously when you're talking
some
to the
of them.
mom group?
Yeah, there was like a group of the teenagers,
Yeah.
so they understand what's happened to their friends in their houses. Yeah, they did. They didn't share it with us, though.
Why?
First of all, we didn't talk much. We didn't talk much. I mean, we need to stay quiet. You have to understand that at that day, the quiet, the silent was strong silent, like the bird didn't tweet, the dogs didn't bark, the babies didn't cry. I mean, it was silent. All we hear is the shooting and the shouting in Arabic. That's all we hear. Beside one thing that we heard later, so I'll finish the story. So I will tell you what we hear. So we stayed there for about 6 hours until the terrorists decided to enter our building. We live in a two floors, 2 stories building. We live in the second floor. I will show you some pictures. Maybe I'll show you the pictures. Yeah, okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, let's show the picture. I'm not sure that if I will show the pictures from here. Just okay. I will show you. Let's see if I can share it. Okay. Maybe I will share the screen and then you can see the picture.
Yep.
I can see many things. Okay, so this was my house. Okay, and we were here. This is the safe room. This is the second floor. You can see me in the window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with a green shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we were like all these hours. And this is the house after what happened. I will try to see if I can like
Can you
move.
explain to people what the writing is in the bottom corner there?
It's Zaka,
Yep.
the organization Zaka.
Yep.
So Zaka is saying that the place is clear. I guess that they're saying it because my neighbor downstairs was murdered. So I think that they write it's clear because maybe they cleaned his safe room after they took his body out of the safe room. That's what I think. Otherwise, I don't think that they would have written anything. So we stayed here for 6 hours and then they decided to enter. At the beginning, the terrorists went here to our neighbor's side. They tried to bomb their doors, to open their doors. They couldn't succeed, so they set their apartments on fire. Our neighbors was very lucky. They went outside of their safe room, which is not heading the same direction as our safe room. Their safe room heading to the other direction. So it means that it's into bushes. Okay, here it's like it's a clear place, no bushes. So they hide a little bit, and then they went to another neighbors. When they finished with them, they came to my neighbor Ablum Miles, that was living on the first floor. That's what we did heard. We did hear. They were speaking with him in Arabic. We didn't understand Arabic, but he was originated from Egypt, so he understood, and he was answering them back in Arab. We didn't understand the word. It wasn't very long, but we did. But the last sentence that he said to them was in Hebrew, and we did understand it. It was, I translated it to English. It was, take whatever you want, but please have a mercy on me. They didn't. I mean, they didn't care less. I mean, he wants to give them. He thought that maybe they want to come to steal, to take things. They did, but it's not all they want. They want to make sure that most of us, if they could, everybody, but most of us will be dead. So after he said this sentence, we just hear, okay? We didn't see anything. We just hear. So we heard shootings like two, 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 like not one shot, like few. And then we didn't hear anything.
What was your family's reaction at that moment?
We all like freezing. We were like helpless. We couldn't do anything. You hear this thing and we understand. I mean, we were mostly talking with our eyes. I mean, what can you say? What can you say when thing like this happen? You can't say anything.
What was going through your mind, Miri? I mean, you've got
That they are coming to us, and that's what what happened. And I mean, I was like, I wanted to trust it that Eli did everything in his power to secure the door, and that's what he did. All this time, he tried different things. At the last thing he did was he took the desk. The safe room was my 16 years old daughter room, so she had a desk there. He put the desk under the handle and some books on it, so the handle couldn't move. And we had like some kind of a lock that the people who was living in this house before us, they put some kind of lock. So both of these things together help us secure the door. So when they came in our house, we understand that they are heading the door, and it was like seconds. Okay, they came to our house, they went straight to the door, they tried to. Everybody think differently, but there was something like a big boom. I thought that maybe they throw hand grenade or something. We don't exactly know what it was, but the door didn't open. It stays secured. It didn't open. So we thought that they will try some other things, and I remember that I was like this, just waiting for it to end. Okay, because we didn't have anything that we can do at this moment. We knew that the terrorists are waiting down the window or on the roof, so we didn't have anything to do. So at this point, they just started to burn the house. We just heard them walking from room to room and like burning, and we had a very heavy smell of gas. We don't know what kind of gas it was. It wasn't like a cooking gas. It was a different gas, another smell, but it was very, very heavy and make us hard to breathe. And like in seconds, the entire house was on fire. All the smoke came inside the room. Then I said to my husband that if we want to stay alive, we have to jump, because I don't want to die, not from smoke inhaling, not from being burned, because it's like a torture death. I'd rather be died from shooting than if we will jump from the window. Maybe they will shoot us, but it will be less painful. So at the beginning he said, no, we're gonna stay. So I understand that he's serious, but I said that I'm not gonna die like here today here like this. So we understand that I'm serious. So we said, okay, but not now. And I said, what do you mean not now? The house is on fire. He said, maybe we can buy ourselves few minutes until the fire will reach the door. Because we knew that the terrorists are waiting, so maybe they will wait and then give up and went away. So this is exactly what happened. I was sitting with my face to the door. Maybe I have a picture of it. Maybe I show you a picture of the door.
I'm trying to understand from the photo, Miri. So this front room is your secure room. You're on the second floor. So basically, the living quarters are behind what we're looking at. And how many room? It sounds like you're saying that your neighbors were in the building we're seeing next to it. What downstairs? But also, you said your other neighbors that whose safe room faces the other direction. Trying to get a sense of from the front door to the safe room. If I were to enter your house, can I see the safe room?
No, not in a,
No.
but
Okay.
like if you walk 1.5 meters to your right, so you will see. Yeah.
Got it.
It's a matter of seconds. It's not even a matter of minutes.
Right.
Maybe people that had like a more secure door, like front door, so they felt a little bit more safe, like what happened next for us. But I can show you in a minute, I can show you what happened. So what was happening is, I will do it like this. Maybe we'll see some of the pictures. This is a picture from October 7th. This is my child room, and she had like all these magnets on her door, like of all the happy events of our lives. And when I was sitting in front of this door, I started to see all the magnets melting through the door. So I understand that that the fire is at the door. You can see on your left the door after October 7th. You see the door next to
That's
it?
the same
So
door.
this is
Yeah.
the same door. Yeah,
Is it
it's
possible to make this full screen? Because there's a lot of stuff going on your screen.
Try, because maybe I need to do like
Just like you're giving a PowerPoint, if you were to just make it full screen, it will.
yeah, but it's not working.
Okay,
I'll
that's
try to
okay.
do.
That's okay.
Maybe
It
I
would
have
just
to
be a
do it
little.
like this. Tell me if you see. I will do it like this. Maybe I'll
It's
do
okay.
it.
It's not a big deal. I just thought it would be a little easier to see some of the details.
Now maybe you can see it.
Okay.
Just a minute. Now?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So
Okay.
you can see the door. You can see, like I said, that they put the desk under the handle, and they put some books and like boxes, and you can see up the lock, you know.
Yes.
And you can see his belt, my husband's belt on the handle. He was holding the handle with his belt as well. He
Wow.
didn't hold it with his hand because we understand that they are shooting the door. So if he will put his hand there, so they will shoot him. So that's what he did. Anyway, when I saw all the magnets just melting, so I understand that the fire is at the door. And I told them that it's time to jump. Ori, my little kid, she wants to jump from the beginning because she didn't breathe well. We inhaled so much smoke. We couldn't breathe. Our heart was beating so fast. So we was in a really bad shape. It's not like that we were energetic on we like had a lot of adrenaline, yes, but we were dehydrating, we were smoke inhaling and gas inhaling, and we wasn't in a good shape. But we understand that if we want to save ourselves, we need to jump. So maybe I'll show you okay, I show you what I did. So what I did, I thought that if I just open the window and there are terrorists that waiting for us, they just shoot us and it's the end of us. So what can I do in order to make sure that there are no terrorists? I just took my cell phone from my pocket and I just did a video, this video. If you can hear the sound, so you hear my kids speaking. I just took a video of the ground and of the roofs to make sure that there are no terrorists near the window. And when I understand that there are no terrorists near the window, what I did is I broke the nets. You can see you say
The
nets?
Screen. Uh-huh.
I just broke it and throw it on the ground, and I opened the entire window, and then my husband, he left the door and he jumped and the kids jumped after him and I jumped the last one to make sure that that everybody jumped. I couldn't like leave anybody there. But when I land on the ground, I can see that my girls, they stood up, but my son, he didn't. He stayed on the ground. So I said to him, "Hey, Tam, stand up." And he said, "Mom, I can't." And I thought, it's okay that you are a spoiled child, but it's not time to be spoiled. You need to stand up. And he said, "Mom, I can't." And then he just took his leg up like this, and I see that it's like disconnected,
Mm.
and I understand that
Oh.
he broke his foot and he can't stand up. We did have, I will show you another, this is the nets that I broke, that I throw on the floor.
Were you afraid that the sound of throwing that would attract attention from
There was
the
no
terrorists?
sound of it because the sound of the fire was so strong that you didn't hear anything. Did you ever hear like a house on fire?
God willing, I never will.
It sounds so strong you couldn't hear yourself speaking.
Wow.
So and it's landed on the grass. So but I
Okay.
can show you, this was my plan. We live here. This is some of the map of Kibbutz Be'eri. We lived in house 29 it's called the Circle neighborhood. The neighborhood is surrounded like houses surrounded a big grass, a circle grass in the middle. And my friend Golan, he was with a pistol outside his house, like number 77. And he said to me, just like in a movie, "Run to us, I will cover you." Just like in a movie, you're living near to Hollywood, so you think that, the Hollywood movies, just like this. But when I understand that Eitam is not standing up, so it was canceled in a minute. But when I helped him stand up and I took my head up, I can see two angels coming towards me. Like it was my two neighbors, Ayelet and Eitan, that was living here in house number 90. They were living in house number 90. Our safe room window and their kitchen window was in, one heading to the other, and just their daughter didn't feel well. They just went for a second to bring her a glass of water, and they saw us. We got so lucky. So lucky. I don't know what would have happened if they didn't saw us at this minute, if we could have get to Golan, if we couldn't find some place else to hide. I don't know. I don't know.
So when you jumped out of the window, what did you see and hear outside? I mean, you didn't hear shouting. Did you hear bullets flying? Did you hear, I mean, it was quiet? You jumped out the window and it was quiet?
Like I said, the entire building was on fire. We
Yes.
heard the very strong sound of the fire. We
Even
didn't
after you're outside.
Yeah, because even when you hear the fire is, maybe if I will show you the video again, when my kids speak, you can hear the fires. It's so strong. It's like,
So
I can't explain it. You can just hear this.
what did you see outside? Did you see things burning? Did you see people? Did you
We
see
didn't look.
you
We
didn't
didn't
look. Okay.
we didn't look. I know that my neighbors from it's not from the same neighborhood. In my neighborhood, the only house that was set on fire is our house. All
Oh,
the other building was not set on fire, but
okay.
the other building on the other side, which is one floor buildings, did was, but we were so focused that I didn't look to the sides. I didn't look. I was so focused in my mission. My mission was to rescue my family and me, and to find somewhere to go.
So did your husband pick up your son and you ran together
No,
or
my husband tried to open another neighbor door, but it was locked. And it was a matter of seconds that they went outside their house while he was trying to open one of the other neighbor's door. And they just came. They wasn't connected to the WhatsApp group. They didn't actually understand how big the situation is. And also, they were very brave. I think both of the things, they didn't know exactly what happening, but also that they were very brave. They don't think they are. Like I don't think I was brave for jumping with my family from the burning house and so on. I think that I did what I have to do. And that's what they are saying, that they did what they had to do. I mean, in these times, that's the only thing that you think about.
okay, so you got in there, but
We got in their
wait,
safe room.
oh, you went to their safe room. Okay, I thought you drove away at that point. Okay, so you got to
No,
their house.
no, we had no car. In Be'eri, we don't have personal cars, and we understand the situation. You can't go out. You have to stay in a safe place as much as you can.
Right.
Not that it helped everybody, as we know, but so we went in their safe room. We were all like black from the smoke. I had like this mustache, black mustache from when I inhaled all the smoke, it left me. And I try to maybe to clean my face, to drink a little water. We were not hungry at all at this time. But we felt safe there. First of all, they had a front door, like a strong front door,
Okay.
and there was another man there, so we felt more safe. We went to the toilet, we felt more safe in their house. The terrorists didn't try to enter their house. One time they just shoot at the window from the outside, but the window was like a steel window, so the bullets didn't penetrate the house. At that time, I was in contact only with my parents. That I understand that they're having. Maybe I show you a picture of my husband, my father. Just a minute. Ta, ta, ta. Yes. Okay. I will do it like this. No. I don't want to share this one. I want to share. Just a minute.
How far do your parents live from your house?
About, like, if it's strict line, it's about 100 meters, maybe 150. This is my father. He's standing in his kitchen after October 7th, as you can see. I think he's standing in his what remained of his bedroom. Yeah.
Were you in constant contact with your
This
parents?
is the safe room, and this is the safe room where they stayed.
Okay.
Yeah,
And were you
this
in contact with your
this is his
parents the
house.
whole time? Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
What what am I looking at here?
you looking at my father's man cave, that
Got it.
was his man cave, and our dining room. On the right is it was his man cave, and on the left it was the dining room. It was built from a light. It wasn't like blocks. It was a light building. You know, light building.
Yeah.
So they burned
Like a temporary structure. Okay.
all the back of the house. This is me in my house. Like, yeah, like this is how the front of my house was. This is like what left from my house. When I asked Ellie to bring me something to remember from the house, he said, "Miri, nothing left." So I said something, one thing. He said, "I can't find anything, you know, man." Anyway, he tried to find, he tried, and then he brought me a teaspoon of Nespresso. That's all he could find. After that, I came and I find something, but as you can see, nothing was left. Nothing. Here was, I think, maybe the TV or something. Nothing.
Right.
Nothing. Like, actually, you see,
How did you
a
feel?
roof.
How
This
did
is the safe room from the inside. Like you see all the smoke. My daughter Yahel, she had like letters of her name, and when we took off the letters, you can see that it stayed white,
right?
and all the rest is from the smoke.
How did you feel the first time you went back to your home? Was it just grateful that you survived? Was it emotional of what happened to your home and your memories? And how have you how did you process
At the
going back?
beginning, I was kind of lucky that Ellie sent me pictures. Okay, he sent me a picture from this direction without me in the middle. That I took pictures after, and he said, "Miri, this is our house." And I was turning my cell phone to try to understand from which angle he took the picture. And I said, "I don't recognize anything," because as you can see here, a remaining of stairs. Our stairs was from wood. We had like a big pergola, you know, pergola, like a big terrace
Yes.
from wood, and many like bushes and trees, and it was just like a little jungle to get inside our house. And now everything was burned, so I didn't even recognize. So I can tell you one thing: since October 7th, although I lost everything since October 7th, I maybe once about one thing, but I wasn't sad about like the materials that I lost. I'm still trying to understand all my friends that I lost, that I can't even understand this. I mean, Kibbutz Be'eri suffered the most lost in life. 102 of our friends was brutally murdered since October 7th. It means that some of them was murdered in captivity as well. 30 of our friends was kidnapped on October 7th. Most of them came back on the settlement, but now we still have 6 friends of us are still in captivity. Unfortunately, all of them are not alive anymore.
And who are
So
those 6 people, 6 members of Be'eri who are still in captivity? Who are they?
I will show you their picture just in a minute, all their pictures that you can see, like their faces, and we can even, I mean, say something about each other, about each one of them. Just a
Please do.
minute.
We can't
Yeah.
forget our hostages. I don't mean you and I, but I mean that with all that's going on, and particularly with Iran right now, we need to make sure that we never forget the hostages, the Khatufim, and there are 53 left, dead and alive, murdered and alive, and we need to get them all home. So these are the 6 from Be'eri.
Yeah. From the left, he was my friend. I worked with him. His name is Dror Or. From the right, sorry. Unfortunately, he was murdered on October 7th, and his body was kidnapped that day. His wife, a good friend of mine, Yonat Or, that I was working with her as well, she was murdered as well. Their two kids was kidnapped alive. We thought that, and they brought back on the first settlement on November 2023. For 7 months, we were sure that Dror is alive in captivity. But when the army brought the cameras of the terrorists, they find footages that he was murdered on October 7th. In the middle, it's a young man called Sahar. He was a young man, was heading to study in Ben-Gurion University. He was supposed to start engineering. He was so young. His whole life was in the head of him. He was kidnapped alive, and after like 50, 60 days, I don't remember, he was murdered in captivity. And nobody talks about it a lot because unfortunately it was at the time that the hostages came back, and so they just like make it silent, but it's not silent at all. He was kidnapped alive. His brother was murdered. He was helping his brother. While helping his brother, he was kidnapped. His brother was asthmatic. He went to bring him something to inhale.
Mhm.
And he was kidnapped. Miri Goddard on the left. Miri Goddard, he was a father of 4 kids. They adopted a son when they were pretty old. Him and his wife, Ayelet, that was my teacher many years, my school teacher many years, were both of them murdered on October 7th, not at the same time. He was murdered before her. She was speaking with her daughters on the phone and telling them what's happening to the father. They didn't know at the beginning that his body was kidnapped. They were sure that they were burying him. And after maybe 1 month, they understand, the family understand that they got the message that his body was kidnapped. So after they thought they were burying him, they actually started to fight for bringing him back to be buried. Ilan Weiss, the other man on the right side down, he was a part of the people who tried to fight the terrorist. He had the key to where all the ammunition was, and when he went to open the place where the Be'eri's ammunition was, when he just left his house, unfortunately, they caught him there, and they shoot him, and then they kidnapped his body. Yossi Sharabi, he was a good friend of mine as well, the brother of Eli Sharabi that came back. Yossi Sharabi was alive for 97 days in captivity. He was with Noah Argamani that was rescued. She talked about him a lot, with Yoval Svirsky that was alive as well and was murdered on the 100th day in captivity. He's got a beautiful wife and 3 girls that just waiting to bury him, to have like a little, so his daughter always said, you can't rescue my father, but you can rescue me. And I think it's a very important thing, because this family needs to be rescued. We can't rescue the people which is unalive anymore, but you can give them like a proper buried, and to rescue their families so they can go on with their lives. And I think it's very, very important. The last one is Ofra. Ofra was a neighbor of my parents. She lived near my parents. Every day, every Saturday, she used to went very early in the morning, like before 6, to a walk, to run. She was very active, and she went outside of the kibbutz towards Gaza. As you can see, we never thought that anything like this can happen. She went towards Gaza, and after maybe less than 1 hour, she called her son, and she said to him, I don't know what's happening. Bedouins are shooting at me. She never thought that the terrorists can penetrate. She thought it was Bedouins. I mean, Bedouins that lives in Israel. She said, I don't know how come Bedouins are shooting at me. And her son said to her, Mom, hide. I mean, it's very, try to hide. And she said, and we hear her on the phone just like shouting at them. And then we hear like, ouch, ouch, like, don't shoot at me. And then there was a silence. After a few very long days, it wasn't immediately. They find her hat, and then maybe after a few weeks, they understand that she was dead, and that they kidnapped her body.
They found her hat.
They found her hat on the outside of Be'eri. Yeah, they found it.
I'm just clarifying because it sounds like you're saying they found her head.
No,
They found her hat. Okay.
Yeah, she went outside with a hat, and the hat fell, and they even find her receipt. She bought something, and her name was on the receipt, and they found her receipt near the hat, so they knew that it was her. So she is one of the only 2 women that are still held in captivity.
Right.
And because we can't rescue them anymore, I think that the honest thing and the most important thing is to rescue first the families that are not living for almost 1 year and 9 months. They just don't have a life. They can't breathe anymore. Then they don't have energy anymore. They just, every day they have to like fight for their loved ones. And then to rescue us, and to rescue the entire Israelis and Jews. And because if we don't bring them back, so we will never can recover from this event. This is the only honest thing to do, is to bring them back. I want to show you all the people that we lost. It's like in the middle, Dror and his wife, Yonat, my friend, and on your right, you can see like friend of mine from the kindergarten that we grew together.
I'm seeing the same slide.
The same. Okay, I will do it again.
And also, you said 102. I saw online that 132 members of Be'eri.
No, you see now this?
Okay.
You see now the pictures?
Yes.
No, it's 102 from Be'eri.
Okay.
it's more, you can see this is like almost an entire family. On the right, Hani was a good friend of mine, and his wife Rinat, and his two kids, many kids. We lost 10 kids that day. I mean, the Hamas terrorists, they didn't come to kill only men or to kidnap only men. Maybe they thought they're connected to the army or something. They didn't care. Kids, women, elders, they just didn't care. Here, down here, you can see Lian Sharabi, Eli Sharabi's wife and his two daughters, Yahel and Noya, which was friends of my daughter Yahel. Yahel was a friend of Yahel, my Yahel, and Yossi. And I can speak about everybody because I knew everybody and I had connection, different connection, but a connection with everyone. So you can't digest 102 members. You just can't.
Is there one story in particular? So there are people who have gotten a lot of attention. Again, the Sharabis, Vivian Silver, of course, in America and Canada, everybody I think knows her name. Is there a story that you could tell us just to honor the victim that maybe people haven't heard yet? Just it doesn't have to be about what happened to them, but who they were and what made them special.
Yeah, I can tell the story of my friend Chen. I always tell his story because he was a very special man, and his like story that day was very similar to our story, but we got very lucky that day, and he and his family didn't. Chen, he was the strongest man that I knew. He was very tall, he was very wide, he was very strong. When I got stuck with my car in the mud, who will I call? Chen, he will come and rescue me. When Ellie want to bring a refrigerator to the second floor, with all the stairs, who can we call? We called Chen. He always say yes to everything. He had a very, very good heart, a big heart and good heart. And he was very strong. And I think I tell his story because I love him so much and his family, but I tell his story to for everybody to understand. Many people that they tried to rescue themselves, like Chen, when they set fire in their house, they went outside of the window, but they had less luck because they lived in the Kerem neighborhood, one of the two most health neighborhoods. And when they went outside, they had nowhere to go, so they went into the bushes. They didn't, just to say that Ayelet and Eitan, our neighbors that rescued us, is Chan's sister.
Okay. What is Chen's last name?
Evan, like stone.
Okay.
So they didn't have luck. I mean, they tried to do everything in their power to rescue themselves, but they didn't get lucky. We did it also, and we got lucky as well. I mean, we didn't only did whatever we can, but we got lucky as well. And I think it's very important to say it because many people tried to survive and to rescue themselves, and many people didn't have luck. So it's very important to say it and to tell it because so it wouldn't sound like everybody who took action survived. No, not everybody that took action survived.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that memory of Chen. And there are various sites online that honor every single person, so you could read their bios or at least mini bios, and also ones to honor soldiers who have fallen. And we have to understand that the losses in Israel have been tragic and tremendous and traumatic, and that what How did you get out though? So you got to your friend's safe room. You're here today. Something happened. How did you get
In
out?
between, yes. At that time, we were in contact. I was in contact with my family, like you see what happened to my parents, my parents' house. My parents' tells me that they have terrorists in their house on the roof. They hear them all the time, like breaking things and walking and coming inside their house, like maybe drinking and eating and so on. But they didn't try, I didn't know that, but at that point they didn't try to open their door. But we understand that the house is on fire because they have many smoke inside the safe room, and we understand that they have terrorists on the roof. We knew that it was one big chaos, so I thought, so I asked my father only to send me like maybe emoji, something that I know that he's alive, because I knew that they don't have a lot of battery in their cell phones. So at the last minutes, I also only asked them to send me like one thing, so I know that they are alive. So about 5 p.m., we lost contact with them. They didn't send me anything yet. I knew that they have low battery, but I also started to feel that I'm not going to see them again, because I said, what are the odds? Fire, they are not going outside the window, terrorists in the house, on the house, what are the odds? And I didn't say anything to anybody, but I started to like saying goodbye in my heart. And our neighbors was in contact with their families, like the sons of Chen that stayed alive. She was in contact with them. She didn't know that they died. She just knew that they were shot, but she didn't understand that they died. She just helped their little kids to stay safe in the bushes until they ran out of battery, and they went somewhere else, but they were rescued. Okay, about 7 p.m. We heard knocking on the front door. Eitan, the neighbor, he just ran to the door. I don't know if somebody tells him, or he was very sure that it's the army. I was scared. I thought, what are you doing? But he opened the door, and we saw some soldiers, and they said, we come to rescue you. And they just took us outside, put us inside a car, many people inside one car. So Eli didn't have room in the car. I said, you have to come in. He said, don't worry, I will come here. I will come with you next time, but he didn't. But he stayed there anyway. And we went through. I understand that we are not going on the road. I took my head outside, and I understand why not, because there were many bodies on the road. When we got outside, we waited for the rescue bus to come. We waited for about an hour.
You waited
Barefoot.
where?
What?
Where were you waiting for an hour?
They took us to the enter of the Kibbutz Be'eri, to the gate. And from the gate, we went to a place where all the people were gathering together. And after an hour, they put us on a bus. We stayed like this near road 232, if you heard about this road.
Yes.
We stayed there. There were alarm at that time and many things. Anyway, we wasn't secure. We got very lucky that nothing happened, because on the other people after us that was staying there, the terrorists shot them. Nobody hurt, but they shoot them. And when we got on the bus, so we drive for like 2 minutes, then I was thinking, I was trying to breathe and said, okay, we are going away, so maybe I can just breathe a little bit. But after 2 minutes, two groups of terrorists just shooting our bus from its both sides. And the bus stopped, and the driver opened the door. He wants to go outside. Yeah, big chaos.
Wait, why would he want to go outside?
Because he wants to run away. He didn't understand what's happening.
Okay.
He wants to run away. He left us there. We went on the ground, and anyway, nobody got hurt.
Okay.
And then we continue. The story never ends, but
Wait,
I
without a
think
bus driver, who drove the bus? Was this
Yeah.
a commercial bus? Was this an IDF bus? I don't understand what this bus was.
It was a purple bus. I only remember that
Purple.
it was purple. I don't think that that it was. I think that somebody volunteered to do it. That's what I think, because many people volunteer to do things. I don't think it was belong to the IDF. It didn't look like an IDF bus. But
So the bus driver runs away. Then what do you do?
he didn't run. He went
Oh,
outside, and then he understand, if he will stay outside, they will kill him. So he went back and closed the doors.
got it.
He didn't understand what's happening. He wants to
Right,
run
sure.
away because he didn't want anything to happen to him. But then he understand that it's going to be worse outside. So we went back inside, and we went on the floor. And then I like smell a very heavy smell of urine, and all my pants started to be filled with urine. And I think it's kind of thing that you never imagine. After, you don't even start to understand how deep is the mud that you are being in, because everything you think it's the end of something new happens, something new starts. So, and I think maybe it's less severe, but that's what happened to us since then. I mean, everything, something else, something new, something, and we feel like we are in a big circles, that like a ball that just like rolling and rolling, and we just want it to to stop, to go back to normal. But
How did
maybe we understand that nothing can be normal again.
how did your background in psychology and mindfulness and all of you have a lot of like layers of mindfulness training. How did that help you, or help others to get through that day? And why
Not
don't we
psychology, like coaching, and like you said, like NLP and mindfulness, yes. And I think what helped me the most, it's not the thing that I know, it's the things that I went through before. When you talked about living as a child, as a small child, in a child's house, and sleep there without like all like how do you say, like the old people who
senior citizens, seniors?
no, like we were only childrens, no adults, no
Adults.
adults at
Uh-huh.
all.
Uh-huh.
No adults at all. So you learn how to manage yourself, okay, with everything that happened, good, bad, easy, hard, it doesn't matter. And it was like the same when the army didn't come. So I just understand that I have to deal with it my own, because if I wouldn't do it, nobody else would. So of course I like, since I was 3 years old until I was 45 years old, there were many years, many happened since then. But I think that I lived like this all my life, that I understand that things outside happened. Okay, I can't control what happened, but I can control what I do with what happened and how I deal with what happened and what I think with what happened. And this is exactly what I did since October 7 and what I'm doing now. I mean, I always feel like I'm in a horror movie. I mean, it's you can't understand it, but I understand every day that I have a role, okay? And I try to say, okay, I'm alive, I can breathe, I have water, I have food. I mean, at this point, I'm okay. I'm okay. I might have a hard time, but I'm okay. My kids are okay. And like, you live from minute to minute. You don't actually like make plans ahead now. You just want to make sure that everybody is okay. And if you ask what I can give others, so I just wrote, maybe later you can give my social media profiles, but I just wrote, one of my last posts was how you can make yourself a way of life so you can deal with things a little bit easier. I mean, when something happens outside, how can you make sure that your inside is in control? Oh, what do you mean in control? Of course, if something hurt, you are being hurt. If something said, you are being said. But how can you can manage yourself and not be affected that much from what happens outside? So
I did
so I
put
think
your,
this is the way I live my entire life. So
yeah.
it was like easy for me, but I think that every person can coach himself to live like this, and it's possible if we
Yeah.
want to.
Well, first of all, your social media links are in the show notes, so anybody can access those. Was this on your Instagram? Where did you post this?
I posted in Facebook
Facebook.
because it was long. For Instagram, it was too long.
Yeah. Second, when you say it's been easy for you, but at the same time, it sounds like it's been nothing but difficult to deal, like
No, I
unless
think it was
unless you live
simple
in the
for me. I
moment.
think the word, yeah, I think
Simple.
the
Yes.
word, yeah, it wasn't easy at all. It was simple.
Got it.
The difference between easy and simple
Yes.
is it was not complicated.
Right.
Okay, it was simple. It
Sure.
wasn't easy because the situation is not easy. Okay,
Yeah.
but it was simple because I already knew the steps. It was like automatic for me.
Right.
I didn't have to think about it too
Yeah.
much. It like I did automatic things that I usually do, and I didn't understand it immediately at the point. Only in reverse engineering, I understood that I acted that way.
How are your children coping since then? How close to normal, or let's say typical, where they were before October 7th, on like, how are they functioning? How are they dealing with the stress? Obviously there's an ongoing war. How are your children doing, and how do you think in general the children of Be'eri? I mean, everybody I think knows Emily Hand. She was also from Be'eri. Obviously, probably most of the community children know or knew her. It was great to see her recently in a video on your Instagram, actually, to hear her talking. I know for a long time she could only whisper, and it seems that
Not for a
she's,
long time, but she did.
yeah. So how
Beginning.
are your children and the children of Bailey coping right now with just dealing with everyday life?
First of all, they're like kids. Kids are like it because they have, like, less experience of life. they get back to normal, if you can say it, more quickly. Okay, but what do you mean by normal? Okay, it's another question, because everybody's life was changed. Okay, Ori, for more than 1 year, she slept only with me in my bed. She didn't agree to sleep elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big change. When they asked her to write, when she was in some place and they asked her to write like a thank you note for the IDF soldiers. So she started to cry and to shout, and they didn't understand why, because soldiers are good, no? And they asked her, why don't you want to do it? So she said, what should I thank them for? When I needed them, they wasn't there. And my daughter Yahel, that was a very good student. She loved to study. She used to get good grades and so on. Now she is not interested in studies at all. She decided she learns Arabic. Now she learns Arabic. It's the only thing that she cares. She only wants to know Arabic because she's a girl that really needs to be in control. So maybe what happened to Ablum, and she didn't understand what are they talking about. This was one of the things that made her decide that she wants to know Arabic. So she really learned hard Arabic, but the other stuff she don't care about. And it's a really different thing from before. And my son Eitam, that didn't love to study and didn't care about study, he decided it's the most important thing for him at the moment, and he studies very hard. So it changed everybody. Emily is one of my daughter Ori best friends, and she that's why they were together. One of the girls is my daughter.
Oh,
So
okay.
at the article that you saw. So Emily is very brave. She wants to talk all the time, as much as she can. She's only 10 years old, and she wants to speak wherever she can and to be interviewed. She's acting like maybe she's 18 or 20 with her like knowledge, and it made everybody grow up. They are not exactly kids anymore. I think this is one of what they've experienced, and all the barriers were, they started to see everything on TV, and you can't prevent them now, nothing. So it didn't what we planned for them, but it is what it is. And I think that one of the things that I'm grateful for, that Ellie and me, we were very active that day, and we didn't let like the reality managed us. We took actions in our hands, and we decided to rescue ourselves, and we did whatever was in our power to rescue. And the kids, they saw us like they did like modeling.
Yes.
Okay. My daughter Yahel, she afraid of heights. She had to jump from 5 meter high, and she didn't even ask, she didn't even wait. And I asked her a few months later, how come you're afraid of heights and you just jumped? And she said, Mom, I didn't even think.
Right.
I knew that if I will think about it, I wouldn't jump, and it will rescue and it will risk everybody. So it made us all different.
Wow.
In a
And
way,
stronger.
anyway.
So let's look forward for a moment. And you've been very generous with your time. So I want to look to rebuilding. So much to rebuild, physically, emotionally, the community, the actual physical space. I've been to Be'eri personally last year, and are you are are you tearing down, or have you tear down the whole community? Will some people be going back to their houses, the ones that weren't destroyed? It seems like emotionally, is there a makeover of the whole community, just of the houses that were destroyed? What is the rebuilding process looking like right now?
I just will show you maybe like something like a 3D video of the Kerem neighborhood. It's very interesting. Okay, if you want to just see that movie, this is like the entire one of the two neighborhood that got like destroyed the most. You can see how the houses was from inside. I just want to say that all the houses that I took videos of is of people who survived. Here in this safe room, a family survived. They all survived in that way or another. They were very close to death, but they did survive. Some of them in the safe room, some of them on the roof. Each story is different, but you can see how big this thing was. You can see it from above. Anyway, I will stop it and just say that third of the buildings and the houses in Kibbutz Be'eri was totally destroyed, like my house. So they are like, there is no remainings of my house at the moment. At the moment, two new neighborhoods are being built at this moment. That people like me, they don't have a house to come back to, and is like many times in a long time in the kibbutz received like the permission to have house over there. So I'm building a house right now, and so are like more than 100 families, more than 100 and something families are building their new houses at this moment.
Is this as a community, or each family is building his or her like own
It's
house?
a community project, but everybody can do whatever he wants. We have models, but
Okay,
everybody can do whatever he wants inside the model.
got it.
To choose from some models and to do whatever he wants to do inside the house.
And this is a 2 to 3 year process, from what I understand. Is that accurate?
In building, nothing is accurate, because
I
you can say,
Yes, I know.
but we hope. I mean, the contract with the government is that we should live next year. We should live here in Hatzerim, but
Sorry,
I don't
leave.
think that.
Oh, okay.
But
Sorry,
I
when you
don't.
say leave, it sounds a lot like live with your accent. So you're talking about
The
leaving
contract
your temporary.
ended in July 2026.
Okay, for the temporary place where you're living
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Then we should go back to Be'eri, who wants to come back. Anyway, I think that they will make the contract longer
Yes.
because even the houses that are already standing might not be ready
Right.
1 year from now.
So as I said before, I was actually in Be'eri last May, and the sounds of explosions coming from Gaza was quite regular. It was very persistent, and though I felt quite safe, that the border was now secure, I would imagine that like just the explosions alone could be very triggering, right, for those who made it through that day. I'm curious, are are all or most or what percentage of the kibbutz members intending to move back. And
About 70%.
that's amazing. And
But we
are they,
don't know until
yeah,
until it happens, we can never know. Even I that said that I'm gonna come back, maybe in real time I said no, I don't feel it's secure for my family, and I wouldn't. Now I'm building a house, but I don't know what will happen in 2 years from now. Everybody can say whatever they want to say today, but in 2 years, the reality can change.
do you think people will wait for the war in Gaza to end before moving back? I mean, I can't imagine a situation where the war is still going on a year from now, but
Wow, it's a difficult question. I don't know. I mean, I can't answer for everybody.
sure. I just
I
mean
can't.
you. Are there fears? Are there reservations right now? I mean, you're third
I
generation,
think now it's one of the safest place because the army is there. So
right?
it's one of the safest place at this point, but the army will not stay there.
You
Okay, they
you
will
don't
not stay there. So, and one day you think it's safe, one day you don't think it's safe, one day you think that if the army will go to like a holiday and it will be less forces there, so maybe there will be another penetration. You don't know. It's so unpredictable.
You don't know, but you don't have confidence that, because I would say that before October 7th, everyone had confidence that the IDF could never allow something like this to happen. There was an unexpected and tragic breach. But you don't believe that the IDF has sort of learned their lessons in a way that you could feel as secure as you did on October 6th, that they will be there to take care of you, that this will not happen again.
I can just hope.
Okay, good enough. Good enough. Um, Before 10/7, did you think there was prospects of real peace with Gaza, with Hamas, with I
Hamas,
don't
they
know.
are
It's
terrorists. We
so
never thought there will be a peace with terrorists.
so
We
it's
thought that the Gazan people will like wouldn't vote for Hamas, and there might be somebody to talk to, but we never thought that anybody can talk to Hamas. It's not a thing.
even the peace activists didn't believe there was a
I
prospect of
don't know
peace.
about them. I wasn't a peace activist,
Okay,
so I don't
interesting.
know.
Got it. No, don't be sorry at all. One more question, and then I just want to talk about how people can help you. Can you, because I want to level up a little bit here. You told us the story of Khan, a horrible tragedy of a beautiful human. Can you tell us a story of one of the heroes? There were so many. I mean, Billy, you're talking about people, men primarily, but not all men, going out with a pistol against 20, 30 terrorists with machine guns. Can you tell us one story that you feel will remind people of what it means to truly be a hero in this world?
There was a son of family from Kibbutz Be'eri. No, I will tell you another one. There was a member of Kibbutz Be'eri. His name was Ziv Chopin. Ziv, he was a member, but he took like a year holiday of the kibbutz. Like he took a holiday of the kibbutz. He was living I think in Tel Aviv or somewhere else in the center. And at the minute that he heard that something happened in Kibbutz Be'eri, he just went on his car and he drove to Be'eri and he reached near the end of Kibbutz Be'eri. He saw their cups. He joined one of the vehicles of the cops, and he promised them that he will take them wherever they need to go. I mean, if they said that needed to be in the Kerem neighborhood, so he will show them where is the Kerem neighborhood, because nor the army, nor the cops. Nobody. They didn't even have a way to connect with themselves. They didn't knew how Be'eri is at the minute, as at the time. I mean, they just came inside at the beginning, okay, before they tried to like manage everything. Anyway, he said, take me with you and I will take you to wherever you need to go. He was very brave. You remember I told you that that there was terrorists on my parents' house.
Yes.
These terrorists had one mission. They shoot RPG on vehicles that was driving to the front road of the kibbutz. And he was on two vehicles that was passing by my parents' house. And these two vehicles were hit by the missiles, and Ziv and 8 other cops was killed that day trying to save people from Be'eri.
This is
So
something.
he was so brave, he didn't even think about anything. He just wanted to come and help his friends. That's all he wanted to do.
This is something that is so unique to Israel, and we saw this across the nation. That when there's an emergency, people don't run away from it; they run to it, and it speaks a lot to. So there's Israel, and then there's Am Yisrael, and Am Yisrael, to me, is not just the people of Israel, but the people of the diaspora, of that we share a heart and we share a soul. And if you see a piece of your soul being threatened, you run to save it. You don't run away from it, and that's very, very unique to Israel. I mean, we look at Ukraine, as soon as it was invaded by Russia, literally millions of people left. What happened after 10/7, what my sister among them, she was here for the High Holy Days. She's like, how do I get on an airplane back? I got to get back. And everybody rushed to be a part of, taking care of their nation rather than away from it. It's something very, very beautiful about Am Yisrael.
Yes.
So before we wrap up, and Miri, please check the links that I put in the show notes and send me anything you want to add. But among it, I did put how people can donate to Kibbutz Be'eri. I know that a lot of people do want to help your kibbutz to rebuild. If you could talk about some of the different ways that they can help, and among other things, many people who are coming to Israel to volunteer. I've been there twice and I'm coming back in August, so I'm also asking for myself. Can volunteers come and physically help in the rebuilding process? What are all the ways, from donations, social media, physical? What can we do to help?
I wasn't prepared for it, but no, because I understand that it's changing from time to time. But if somebody wants to ask, so he can contact me in the social media, and I can ask. We have like some people that this is their job to be in contact with donors. I know that there was some people volunteering, but I'm not sure that it's available now. I'm not sure. So I can ask, but I didn't hear about it for a long time, so I don't think that people are volunteering in Be'eri at the moment. But I don't want to just say things without knowing for sure. So I can ask, like, what day is today? Maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, and maybe you can fill it in later with the data.
Of course.
All I can say about if they want to donate through the link, We will be more than happy if somebody that hears me wants to invite me to give a lecture or to tell the story. I will be more than happy to. I have like friends that wants to come and tell the story abroad. It's very important to us to keep it always in everybody's mind, and to make sure that nobody forgets October 7th, nobody forgets the hostages, nobody forgets everybody that we lost. It's very important to us. So there is the details where you put. So if anybody wants to contact with me, when I do lectures, everything is donated to Kibbutz Be'eri. Like I said, it's not donated. It's goes there because I never earn anything for myself. So if many people ask for lectures, so everything goes to Kibbutz Be'eri, and it's make my heart full, and so I can give also to the people and also to my kibbutz. That's what I received from it. So
Yeah.
for me, I will be happy to do it.
I know that you guys have a whole speakers bureau. I've heard a number of different Kibbutz Be'eri speakers in the last year here in Los Angeles. I've seen you guys a lot on the East Coast. So yes, I know that this is a great way for a synagogue, a JCC, a school, and by the way, non-Jewish communities. It's very important that our allies step up and ask questions and learn the context, because there's so much disinformation, misinformation, harmful information, and we can all play a part in rebuilding Be'eri and rebuilding Am Yisrael.
Amen.
Last question. Miri, what does Am Yisrael Chai mean to you?
Wow. Last question, like you didn't ask anything. I think it's like in Hebrew it calls a leva poem, the like beating heart. It's the beating heart of everything. I mean, like you said, when something happened, everybody comes together. And I think that we can really, really make it like whole, this Am Yisrael Chai, whole, like complete, when we will actually eventually understand that it doesn't matter if we're religious or from the right wing or the left wing. We are all people. Like I said at the beginning, like I'm going back to the beginning. If we all understand that we are hearts and we are people, and it doesn't matter who we are and where we are and what exactly we think, the most important thing is to remember that we are here to love each other. And I think that, and I hope, and I know that it will happen very soon, and we will be really, really united. And this is our strength when we are together. And that's what I wanted to happen as soon as possible.
Amen. We all pray with you that peace and love do prevail, and we need to come back to Shabbats that are shalom, and we need to come back to the space of love and peace, and
Love.
it's tragic that sometimes it has to happen through the process of war, but I do believe, like you, that peace is on the horizon. Miri, I can't thank you enough for your time. You've been so generous, and I do hope that people will take the time to donate, to invite Miri to speak, to do what you can to help rebuild Be'eri. So thank you, and Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you, Shana. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Thank you.